community. My name is Amanda, your host. I am here today to go over the guidelines. But while I do the guidelines today, as people get tuned in, please feel free to drop where you're watching from or where you're tuned in from in the comments so that we know where you're tuning in from. Today, I just want to go over those guidelines as usual and just say that this is a safe place and a safe zone for people to share about their businesses, their endeavors, and anything that they're working on at the current moment. So I'll ask that we are respectful during this conversation, during this interview. Please be engaged, ask questions if you have any, and we'll try to get those answered to the best of our ability today. Anything we don't see, we'll definitely get back in the comments and follow up for you all who are tuned in today. So doing the most media, please be sure to like, share, follow, and for sure know that we're doing this for the cause and for the culture. We want to be sure to share about relevant information and bring value to the community anytime we tune in. And please, like I said, join in and put your location in the comments. And I want to thank Cali Rashad for joining us today. And I want anybody to, from California or Ohio or anywhere in between to definitely let us know where you're from. And without further ado, let's get ready to meet Cali Rashad and the
So what up? What up? What up? What up?
All right. Thank you for joining us. And I just want to kind of do a little bit of back information before we get into solo and all the information that, is on the flyer, so what would you like to tell us about yourself? Let's get to know the man behind the brand, behind the movement, better yet.
I am I'm a visionary. I consider myself a visionary. I am happy to be in this space that I'm doing. I felt like since I was a kid, I've always had a calling for something that I can use my mind and create. I never thought it would be in a form of fashion. But I guess that's our purpose of living life is trying to figure out, what things you're good and are not good at. So this is my calling. I've always been a creative type person. I've always been the type of person to use my mind and just put good things out in the atmosphere. And here I am. This dream that I'm living in is just so surreal. I never thought to be living the life that I'm living now, but I'm super blessed and super fortunate for it for sure.
All right, visionary. I'm glad to have a visionary on with us. I haven't heard that term in just a while. Some of our viewers may be really familiar with what you do,
Right,
depending where they're tuned in from, and I'm sure there are many who do not know what
right.
you do. But could you please explain to us what the Solo brand is, the Solo by Cali Rashad brand?
When I created this brand, I didn't want it to be. Um, I didn't really want it to be boxed in. I've always been a person to use the world and its influence around me. Um, it's what we have. I feel like for me that's natural, you know what I mean? So it's just not really something that's a black thing or a white thing. I wanted it to be available for any and everybody. I'm a big fan of, being able to coexist with your neighbor. And that's pretty much what solo is just pride on, you know what I mean? I didn't want it to be for somebody that looked like me. You know what I'm saying? I wanted this to have a global outreach. And like I said, since I started it, I had people from all over the world actually that love the brand or fans of the brand. When I started it, when I came up with the idea in 2016, I was in college and I didn't really have the actual time to, put into it and know the ins and outs of it. But it was something that I thought about doing, but I didn't really want to pursue it. It went until 2018 to the birth of my son, and shortly after he was born, I got fired from my job, and I had nothing. Yeah, I had maybe like $200, $300, and I invested $240 into some T-shirts, and I'm here. I'm here. This has put me on magazine covers. This has put me in billboards in Times Square. It has pretty much taken me to heights that I never could imagine or thought about when I thought about it in 2016. So, and I have people from all over the country and all over the world want to know, what the brand means, and it truly is for everybody.
That's amazing to have a brand that really truly transcends like color and race and religion, all those different things, and it's just
Right,
something that everyone can enjoy and partake
right.
in. Definitely. If you had to like term it and put it into a purpose, what would you say that the purpose of the solo brand and the solo movement are really all together?
Solo, a lot of people ask me what solo means. It's not an acronym or anything. It actually means self before anyone else. It's not to be selfish or anything like that. But as you live your life, you have to learn to put your happiness and your needs and wants first. And I feel like that is something that everybody can agree upon. You know what I'm saying? Self care, self awareness, things like that. So for me, it is just truly for self. I think once you put those things in perspective about yourself, I think as you encounter other people, they see that within you. You know what I'm saying? They see that you care about yourself. They see that you care about your neighbor. And to me, it's about putting yourself first.
Okay, that's important. 'Cause I've talked to a few people leading up to the interview and mentioned the self before anyone else, and a lot of people really were just like, "Whoa!" Like I can really get with that. They were really
Right,
doing that as just a thought process because I think a lot
right,
of times it's taught out of us along the way to be
right,
about ourselves, and so to kind of come
right.
back around to that, it's really full
It's
circle.
important. It's totally important. Especially in a black community, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to anybody else, but
Sure.
for a long time, it's about, doing it for your family, providing for your family, and those things are it's a lot of pressure, you know what I mean? It's a lot. Especially, if you're not ready for it, you know what I mean? Since the birth of my son, it's a lot of stuff that I personally was just not ready for, you know what I mean? And it took a lot of discipline. It took a lot of having some tough conversations with, friends and family around me and also myself. And for a long time, I was just putting other people's needs first. And I think, when I sat down and had that conversation, like, man, you got to get yourself in shape. You got to be able to eat. You got to drink water. Like those little things like that make a lot of difference. You got to get some rest. You got to take some time out of your day to, not look at your phone or just sit outside or sit in your car or just find some peace within yourself. And once I started doing those things, the way that I treat, my son, the way that I talk to, friends and family, it's just totally different. But that need for, wanting that self-preservation was totally important. And that's what the brand is truly about.
So let me ask this. You said you mentioned your son a couple times, and I mean, a lot of times kids drive, our passions, and you definitely bring back the point about being about self before being able to do for anyone else.
Right.
What is it that really feeds your passion for this movement? Is it just personal experience, or is it more than that?
I think it's more than that. My parents, it hadn't always been easy with my parents, but as far as me as a parent, I think the love that I have for my son and the love that my parents have for me is just is pretty much mixed in, you know what I mean? And as I meet people, you know, they feel and see that love. So the movement to me is just way more than just the clothes, you know what I mean? I have a podcast myself, and it gives people opportunity to, hear the good and bad from me. You know what I mean? I think in today's society, I think the most important thing that you can have for people is honesty and transparency. You know what I mean? And that right there, those are true feelings. You know what I mean? To get me to this point has not always been perfect. And there's a young boy and there's a young girl that's maybe wanting to be an entrepreneur, and they may need to hear that. Social media has a tendency to kind of, make it seem like, if you do this, it's perfect. And, you're going to go through some bumps and bruises for sure. My son is actually my beacon of hope. I can say I was a beacon of hope for my parents and especially for my dad. you know what I mean, to be a better person. So um, it takes one to know one. My dad had, and it makes me emotional sometimes, but my dad really truly cares for, me and my younger brother. So it's only right that, I show that to my son, and I have love to give to everybody. And I think that is important too. So the clothes is just an extension of, the mind, but solo me is bigger than that for sure.
Definitely. So let me ask, maybe with the message of self before anyone else, who are you maybe looking to impact most with that message? Is there any like certain demographic or a targeted group that you're looking to impact?
None at all. None at all. It's just one of those things that um, you can agree with it, and if you if you agree to it, then this brand may be for you. I knew coming in, not everybody wants to hear that. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own motive. Everybody has their own thing. Um, my thing is to be true to me. You know what I mean? And as long as I'm true to me, and as long as people see that, and then I think people are more likely to get on board with it. What I got going on, there is no shortcutting it or anything like that. You know what I mean? But like I said before, I knew people coming in was not going to agree with it, but it's just being, true to me. And if I can spread that message to any and everybody, then it's for any and everybody.
Okay. I used to work with teens myself, and I read somewhere in doing all my research that you saw that that teens have really taken to the solo brand. Can you speak a little bit to that? Because like I said, I know it's hard to impact teens and get their attention and get them to buy in anything, and to get them to buy into self. That's just a
Right,
amazing step.
right. I when I It's just so crazy because like when I started it and like you asked me like who is it for? It's for any and everybody. But if you want me to be completely honest with you, especially like with the prices and stuff like that, I think about a mother. And I know some moms who may struggle to get their kids like the new Air Jordans and then the shirt and the suit that comes with it. You know what I mean? You can almost, if you live in an apartment, you can almost spend half of your rent, just buying an outfit and a pair of shoes. And so I always thought about, what can I do for a mother who is not necessarily struggling but just barely making ends meet, and then that little bit goes to whatever their kids want, you know what I mean? And so um the way that I got with it for teens is when I first started, I was charging teens maybe $10 or $12. We've both been teenagers before, you know what I mean? If you don't spend your lunch money, you can easily have $10 or $12, you know what I mean? And I just thought about how independent I was as a teenager, doing little odd jobs to have money to go to the mall and buy clothes. And so as I move forward, it's like, okay, what can I do? Okay, I can charge the kids 10, 12, no more than $15 for a shirt. You know what I mean? Without asking them to have to go ask their mother for, oh mom, can I get $100 to go to the mall or whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? So my brother, he's a teenager. He's 16 years old, and him and his friends, they love it. And it started with them, and I can go to his basketball game, and I have no idea who these kids are, but they know who I am. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't want to hit, kids upside the head like with some of these bigger brands, because the bigger brands are going to charge what they're going to charge for it, anyway. So for me personally, I had just wanted to make it fair for, a mother who wanted their kids, if they're buying, the new shoes, that they don't necessarily have to go and get that exact shirt and pay 35, $40 for it. Because I've been a victim of paying 35, 40 extra dollars for the sneakers and all that extra stuff. So to get to the teens, man, I feel like I fit in with them. I'm a kid at heart. So, just to go to their basketball games and some of their extracurricular activities, just to know that somebody is in their corner, I think is super duper important. I wish I had more figures like that growing up. So to be, that figure for them is everything. But that's just who I am, and I think that's what stands out most about the brand is that that's just in my nature to do that for them.
That's amazing that you are meeting people where they are. You've met the teens where they are. You thought about the single moms. You thought about the demographics, the different populations, and that's important. And it sounds like kind of you've gotten that same kind of feedback from the consumers. Everybody's kind of flocked to your brand
Right,
because they can relate. They can get with
right,
you, and
right.
that makes a huge difference.
Hmm.
So solo is not your only service to the community. You have the Young Nation Radio as well. You spoke a little bit about the podcast and how that's really about you. I've tuned in, I've listened some myself, and there's some real talk moments on there. There's some moments
Right.
where you can hear the self reflection, you can hear the thought process for moving forward. Tell us a little bit about that podcast.
Young Nation podcast. Um, I had really wanted it to be for my friends and family, in my circle, like my son's on there and my brother's on there, and my sisters. I mean, a little bit of everybody's on there, and I wanted that for me personally to just be an escape where I can express myself. Like I said, I didn't really just want the shirts to just be my only stop. As a person, that has responsibilities, as a black man in America, there's so many things you know, that are going on. And I use the podcast to just release that. It's raw and it's uncut. I have episodes on there where I just vent. And it's just me being honest, you know what I mean? Just the type of person, to just say how I feel because that's real and it's honest and it's true. And so the podcast is just like I said, it's just an extension of the man behind the brand and what's going on, whether it be political, whether it be personal, whether it be parenting, whether it be relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like these things are always constantly going on, and there's so much more than just clothes and fashion to talk about. And so I wanted to get my friends and family to, chime in on it. And it has been successful so far. Just put out a new episode that's doing fairly well, that's actually doing really good. And so I'm going to continue to keep pushing that out there. I know some people may not, be able to buy the clothes, but they tune into the podcast. And to me, that's still a win for me as well because they're getting to know me and then they also see the clothing. So it is truly it truly takes a weight off my shoulders if you want me to be completely honest with you to be able to express myself.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the authenticity is what people connect with when it comes to
Right,
any brand. So that's what it really is. If people don't
right,
want to connect with something fake, they want to connect with it with
right,
something and someone real, and then they want to be able to relate. And like you said, there's that fallacy kind of out there on Instagram when you see certain things on someone's, it looks a certain way. That's
right,
that balance. It's that honesty, that piece you were talking about earlier.
right. I mean, it gets to the point where I may not be in the house with a studio mic or whatever. I could be walking down the street, and if I feel like I need to say something, I'm glad that I have resources that allow me to say what I got to say whenever the moment presents itself or whenever I feel that I need to do it. There's been some podcasts recording in the car. There's been some where I've been playing a video game. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I just don't think that when it comes to you and how you feel, I don't always think that it needs to be in a certain arena. You know what I mean? I feel like if this is where you feel like you can express yourself, then you should do it. There's been times where I've woke up at 2, 3 in the morning and I just had something to say. So I just think that helps me in my peace of mind throughout my day or throughout my life, honestly, to have a place where I can, talk about how I really truly feel.
Kind of like therapy, be a
Right,
power.
exactly, right.
For sure. Nothing's wrong with that. So planning is important when it comes to any business, when it comes to any kind of venture that we take on. What are some of the important successes that have gone on for you in the planning, and what are some of the things, maybe future tense that you've got that you can share with us today?
Honestly, you can never really truly be good at a business. And I don't mean that in a negative light, but there's always something that you can improve on. People are changing, technology is changing, the economy is changing, things are always changing. So when you think you have an answer for it, you don't really have an answer for it. There are some things in my business, as like for example, you know, putting out product on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Like that's an area where I struggle at, and you know what I'm saying? Like I can admit to that. You know, it's a lot of people out there that have a business that think that their business is the ideal business, but there's certain aspect of your business that if you're a true business person that that you need to fix or work. Fortunately for me, the reason why I don't have that because I don't just use social media to sell. I actually sell, directly to customer. So those things or those items that I may have that I was saving for my social media pages, I just don't have it anymore. You know what I mean? But still, I still have to improve on still putting what I have out or have left over on there. You know what I mean? So, to anybody who has a business or or wanting to get into the entrepreneur field, is just stay consistent on what you're doing. You can never not post enough. You can never not go, local and show your face. Even on social media, don't be afraid to DM somebody or DM somebody, who you think may have interest in you. You never know. You know what I mean? Like I said, these things are always changing, and I think that's the best advice I can give to people is just go for it. I had somebody ask me today, you know, how did you get this far? I just went for it. You know what I mean? And I was prepared to fail. Um, my life is not perfect. I know what failure looks like. Um, it was to a point in my life where I just got used to failing. You know what I mean? And like I said, that tough conversation that I had in mirror is just like, you got to get out of this. You know what I mean? There has to be something that's better than this. You can't always expect to fail. But because I know what it feels like, I know that that's all part of the game. You know what I mean? And you can't be afraid of it. You can only grow from it. And I think for me, for a long time, I wasn't giving myself the opportunity to grow for it. I was just okay with it. But now I'm not okay with it. But I do take the lessons that failure has brought me and turn it into something. So just be consistent and go for it. The only thing that you can do is get better if this is something that you truly want to do.
I appreciate that. You said a mouthful there about being prepared to fail. I don't think that the schools do a good enough job preparing people to, have to fall down and then get back
Right,
up and try
right,
again. Like, that's a thing. And I think the standard's always for passing or always winning and having a success. When
right,
that's the template, then it's hard to fail. And it's
right,
something people fear. So it's a good point.
right. And yeah, and it is. It's like I have these conversations every day, but I don't. But I have some friends and family who are just afraid to fail. And the best advice I can give them when they say that or when I hear that, I always tell them, look at the examples around you. You know what I mean? I'm your friend. Look at me. You know what I mean? Look at how many times I fell on my face. You know what I mean? Or I got left behind or I didn't have it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you got to put your foot down. You got to be prepared for it, but you also got to put your foot down. You know what I mean? And you never know, what may happen on the other side. And I think the success for me is just the happening on the other side when I put my foot down, honestly. But like I said, I'm I'm super fortunate. I had faith in what I wanted to do, and like I said, I'm here. I'm super fortunate, super fortunate.
You are very fortunate. As far as you personally, you're an entrepreneur, you're a father, you have probably many more hats that I don't even necessarily know about. But how do you balance it all? What are those things that you do? I know you mentioned self care a bit earlier, getting out and handling those things. What are maybe like what's maybe your top thing for self care that you would like to share with us?
I like to go to the gym. I like to work out. I like to shoot basketball. Um, I'm a dad now, so I can't just get in my car and just bounce like I used to. I used to just get in my car and just bounce, but I can't do that no more. So like I said, just going to the gym, just getting some type of physical activity. And I like to play Madden 2K. I've been doing that since I was a kid, so that's just something that just does not. Um, it has not got out of my system yet. And then I like to lock myself up in the office and just create designs and just listen to music and create designs. I think those are the top three things for me, honestly, that keep me at peace. I actually like going outside. I have a huge backyard, so and I got trees back there, so I actually like raking. We just go outside and just randomly rake the yard, and it's just so peaceful. I'm not thinking about nothing. Not thinking about how long I'm gonna be out here, and I can get the yard raked in like 3 hours. You know what I mean? But anything where I don't really have to like think too much into it or whatever, I think those are the most important things for me that I actually like to do, and that is a must. That is a must do every day. One of those 3 to 4 things have to get done every day. So that's the best way that I know how as of right now to kind of just balance everything that I got going on.
I appreciate you sharing your business coping skills. I mean, we all got to have them. So.
Right, you got to have that. You definitely got to have that.
Well, is there anything I would like to give you the floor to share? Anything that maybe we did not cover at this point that maybe you feel like is really important to kind of share and get out?
Everybody, the season's gonna change eventually. We got new fall. I mean, not new fall. We got new spring and new summer. Um, Fashion coming out for the season. We got crop tops coming out. We got dad caps coming out. We got snapbacks coming out. We got biker shorts, shorts for men, shorts for women, tank tops, sandals, you name it. We're gonna cover it all this spring and summer. Um, y'all take a look at solobycalirashad.com. That's always active. We're constantly, putting out new stuff on there. So you guys can check that out. Also check out our podcast, Young Nation Radio. That's always going. You can check me out on any of my social media outlets, whether it be Instagram at Solo by Cali Rashad. And then you can also check me out at Solo On Demand. I'm always dropping stuff. As a matter of fact, in a few hours, I'm fitting it ready to drop something brand new on there as well. So I'm always getting it out. So if you guys see it, you want it, DM me, buy it online. And that's pretty much it, man. I really do appreciate you having me for sure.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'll definitely be checking that out online because honestly, I've seen some very nice pieces that I need to get my hands.
Yeah, just let me know. A lot of people, and I feel like it's partly my fault, but if there's something on there, like for example, if you see like a black shirt, it's got like a white on it, but you may think that it looks better with pink or yellow on there, I do not charge for that. It is just a simple request. I don't charge for customizations. Like if you want your social media handle or anything on the bottom or the back of the shirt, I do not charge for that. Like I said, I want everybody's solo item to be personalized for them. It is truly for you. I think what I put out is the template so you have an idea of what it looks like. But if you feel like it looks better for you and however you see fit, um, we are able to do that for you. So if you're online and you're looking and you think it looks better in a different color, it's just a simple request, and we have that online for you to do that as well too.
Well, thank you for letting us know because I didn't know that, but I mean, they need to be
Right,
special about over there. Thank
right,
you.
right, 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 right.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your social media.
Thank you.
I want
Appreciate you for
everybody.
having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Everybody, just so you know that his social media handles and information are included in the comments or in the description underneath the video. And you're more than welcome to click on those things. I will add the Young Nation Radio on there. I don't believe I did add that, but I will add that.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, everybody who tuned in this afternoon to hear about the solo by Cali Rashad brand and the movement and about Young Nation Radio as well. Thank you for tuning in this Friday, and I will see you all again on Monday.